Hello, everybody, and welcome to SpeakOut, the OutWrite podcast. I'm your host, JQ. I use any pronouns.
I'm Emma. I use they, she, he pronouns.
I'm Ava. I use they, she pronouns.
And today we are discussing all things in the world of sports, but only those that pertain to the queer community.
Yeah, we don't care about anyone else.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like we should just start off with the Pride Tape thing because we were talking about it before we started recording.
Yeah.
Do I need to summarize the situation?
Probably.
I feel like I ought to.
Yeah.
Okay, so back in June, for Happy Pride Month, the NHL banned all, jerseys for specialty causes. So, you couldn't even wear, during warm-ups, a specialty Pride jersey, which might have, the team's logo, but there's rainbows. So they banned that, which was, a team thing. And then in October, so about 3 weeks ago at this point, when this episode goes out, they also banned putting Pride tape on your stick, which is literally, you put tape on a hockey stick so you can control the puck better, and usually comes in white or black, but you can also get it in rainbow, and it's called Pride tape.
Slay.
And it's, so an individual choice. There's no team that's and you have to use Pride tape. And so the fact that they banned it is honestly insane. And the reasoning they gave was that some people felt uncomfortable with it, and what they meant was that literally 8 players out of the over 200 in the NHL didn't use it. So yeah, it was the homophobia. It popped.
It popped.
Yeah.
It popped. And not in a good way. I read, the article that I read said, something about, respecting religious freedoms.
Yeah, okay,
someone said it was against their religion. Some guy said it was against his religion.
Of the 8 players who didn't use it, I'm not going to name names here because I think I might fuck up which ones it was.
Oh, okay. I thought you were to protect their identity.
No, I don't care about it. They're public figures. They're saying this to the news.
They're saying this to the public. We are the public.
A couple of them were I'm Eastern Orthodox, Russian Orthodox, so it's against my religion. And then a couple of them were I fear reprisals from the Russian government if I display support for gay people, which feels more plausible on the surface. But also a lot of Russian players still continued to use Pride tape and have faced 0 consequences, so it's
And if you don't want it, then just don't do it.
I don't know, guys.
Well, you can also just not do it.
Yeah. And also the NHL can literally just, let people not do it instead of banning it entirely.
It's just, yeah.
Oh. I guess there's just the but then. But then one guy was like, yeah, no.
Travis Dermott.
Yeah, Travis Dermott.
Arizona Coyotes. I will shout him out because I am sure about his name.
True.
The ally. He basically just used it anyway, and then the NHL was like...
Oh my god, we've been defeated by one guy who plays for the Coyotes.
The Arizona Coyotes.
Okay.
Okay, how do you have hockey in Arizona?
Many are
The ice melts. How are you even doing it?
Bro is he's on an $800,000 contract, which is I know it sounds like a lot, but for the NHL it is pathetic.
They are professional
it might be
athletes.
two-way.
Do they really get paid that much? I did not know that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
they're
Your
professional
entry-level
athletes.
minimum is $750K.
Whoa.
You know what
That's
is?
what you get if you play at least 10 games in the NHL, so you usually get sent down after 9 if you're, if they want you on their AHL team.
You know what the starting for NWSL players is?
No.
36,000.
RIP.
Wait, I'm so sorry. What's NWSL?
National Women's Soccer League. It's the U.S. professional league, so...
Ain't no fucking way,
No,
bro!
I mean, checks out.
Yeah.
Jesus. Of course it does.
Certainly women's hockey, you are not making that kind of money.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been 5 minutes and we're already off topic.
Yeah.
Detroit is also home to the Detroit Lions, who took Rams' former quarterback, Jared Goff.
True.
That's not queer. I don't know why I'm saying this.
The Rams are in LA, though.
I was really
LA's
waiting for the
gay.
punchline. We were and he's bisexual.
I mean, not confirmed.
If you want to come out, James Goff.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. We have...
That would make this episode really
Or
funny
literally
if you did.
any NFL players, because then I can start writing about the NFL.
Hey, you were
Yeah.
at the football game? At the UCLA football game?
Yes, I was at the football game. I was on the field. It was great. There was not really many queer happenings, unfortunately, other than me being there.
There's plenty of queer happenings on the field when the marching band took the field. Ayo!
Yes, that...
I get to say that I'm in the marching band.
Talk about rugby. You have it in all caps.
Oh my god, yes!
Rugby!
Rugby article coming soon, but rugby is very queer. I feel like most of the time I'm like looking for queer athletes to spotlight in articles. I find just so many rugby players. I feel like it's just like a culture. I mean, a lot of rugby players were first soccer players, and soccer culture is very queer friendly. Yeah, I feel like just the culture of the sport is very welcoming, and most teams just have a really they're just like really queer friendly and just like very chill with it. And then from soccer players comes rugby players. I feel like rugby players are just like soccer players who are like, this isn't violent enough. I'm not being thrown on the ground enough. But yeah, no, I feel like a lot of like women's contact sports just attract a lot of the gays.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like by playing a really tough contact sport like football or rugby, as a woman, you're already just like a little bit outside of the norm. So I feel like it appeals to people who are already outside of the norm because of their gender or sexual identity.
Yeah, like if you never had the option of feeling okay with being traditionally feminine, you might as well have fun with it.
True.
Might as well get a
Gotta
few
love
concussions.
Yeah, concussions.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah. Anyways.
Women's contact sports are like, oh my god. I feel like they might be the number 2, 3, and 4 causes of women's concussions. Although that's just something I have on the dome. It's
What's
not
the
like
number 1?
On the dome.
I think it's like something normal where you'd be like, okay, yeah, that's an injury, like falling or some shit.
Okay.
And then after that, it's like, and what if
women's rugby,
other
women's
women
soccer
tackled you really hard all
no
the time?
Way! I wonder what would happen. It took like a long time for them to actually prove and take measures to prevent concussions, like especially in football.
Oh my god.
I learned about that recently.
They still aren't preventing them in
Yeah,
football.
well.
They grandfathered in, when they implemented that you had to wear a helmet in the NHL, they grandfathered in all the old players so that they didn't have to wear helmets. And the last guy who wasn't wearing a helmet retired, I think, in the 2000s, which is a little silly that they let people get concussions in, like, 2006.
Yeah. I thought we were past that.
I thought we were past that.
Yeah.
It's wild. I mean, UCLA Rugby has a very good concussion protocol, and they do a lot. Like, they have you do a base impact test when you join the team, and then if they think you have a concussion, they, like, have you take it again and compare your results and make sure that, like, your brain is intact and all that. So I think...
I really want to talk about, I want to debate what determines whether a sport's overall culture is queer or not. Because I feel like that slaps.
That was a very interesting question. I liked that one.
And I feel like there's a lot to say. Because, like, I feel like hockey should be kind of a queer sport because it really emphasizes, like, team camaraderie almost. But I feel like that emphasis also makes it really taboo to sort of step out of the norm. Because then you're distracting from the team. Like, that's literally the language that fucking Gary Bettman... Boo. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman.
Okay, there we
Who
go.
everyone wants to resign.
Who everyone wants to resign. Sorry, I got too mad thinking about Gary Bettman.
I know. I heard that little, like, huff of anger over there. I was like, oh, goodness.
He was literally like, oh, we can't let people use, like, pride tape and specialty jerseys. Which are, it's for shit like Black History Month, by the way. Like, lest you think it's just homophobia.
Right.
Or also, like
breast
conservative
cancer
shit.
awareness.
It's also for, like, oh, like, there's, like, a Veterans Day one. And he's like, oh, heaven forbid we let conservative people think about soldiers.
No, but some teams will allow veteran appreciation, but they won't have other theme days.
We're only allowed to think about the veterans.
Yeah.
which is
Also bad, yes.
Yeah.
it's mid. Yeah.
And he was literally like, oh, we can't, like, have special causes acknowledged with jerseys and tape, because
But,
it's
like,
distracting.
why,
It's
bro?
a distraction.
Is
and
it
it's like,
literally warm-ups?
yeah. It's not even the game.
It's not even that deep.
It's like, are the refs gonna get confused because they saw people change shirts?
Right. Or, like, I mean, like, I guess you could argue something about, like, them, but, like, being in the zone or whatever. But, like, honestly, if you're a professional athlete and you can't get in the zone because somebody is wearing a rainbow, then you, like, suck. So...
Okay, if the jersey that the other team is wearing is too much of a problem for you, then maybe you should not be playing against 31 other teams.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things happening, or you get distracted by, like, that kid eating a pretzel in the top row, because, like...
And what if that kid is wearing a rainbow shirt while he does it?
Actually, there's no fans allowed. There's no other team allowed either, because they're going to get distracted.
Scrimmage all day, every day.
I would love if the Texas Rangers lost because the Diamondbacks, who do support queer people, just decided to, like...
Another Arizona
I know,
team.
aren't they also Arizona? No way.
Yeah.
But they also support queer... What were you saying?
Arizona, yeah, Diamondbacks allow pride stuff, and the Rangers do not.
Damn. Boo.
Yeah, so let's go Diamondbacks. I'm sorry, what sport is that?
Major League Baseball.
Okay, true. That's what I thought.
They're in their playoffs.
Baseball.
I saw, like, part of the game on the TV in Deneb, and I was like, wow.
No
I'm
way.
doing my sports homework.
Ah, true.
Watching sports.
Deneb has
homework.
MLB Network.
Whoa.
It's on Fox. And I was like, ooh, does it really count as doing my gay homework if it's on Fox, though?
So many sports are on Fox. It's terrible.
What can you do?
And we legally do not endorse pirating.
We do not endorse pirating, but also we don't endorse the fact that a lot of sports that are most watched by queer people are on subscription services. I feel like football you can find anywhere.
Football.
Women's soccer, rugby, they're all like you either have to have like cable TV or like a subscription to something like Paramount Plus or like Peacock or Apple TV.
Not Peacock. Peacock is where WWE lives, by the way. Not that with the most watchable wrestling in the world, by the way. You can find it anywhere, but you should definitely only find it legally.
That's right. We hear it outright.
We hear it outright.
We're speaking for the whole organization.
Yeah, we have everyone's... Okay, we cannot bring
Nope. No, we cannot. Anyways.
But, you know, it's literally cheaper to go to a WNBA game, at least for the Sparks, than to, like, purchase the ability to watch it.
Actually,
well, that's
didn't
silly.
their playoffs, like, just finish, like, a month or two ago?
Yeah.
Who won?
Aces.
Nice. I really like their team name.
They're cool.
Which I feel like is not a good reason to root for a sports
That's
team,
gay.
but, like, whatever. I
Yes,
don't like anything else in Las Vegas. It's like, okay, I did not give I'm from the Bay Area. I did not give a single fuck about the Raiders, but boy am I mad that they're in Las Vegas now. It's like, that's my team to not care about.
Yeah.
Give them back.
Get them back over here. The, 9-hour drive?
Yeah.
Less than that, probably.
Used to be only like a 2-hour
Oh,
drive that I
version of
would
that.
not make because it was 2 hours.
Yeah. In California, so.
Yeah.
We could circle back to what determines a sport being queer.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we didn't answer that.
I feel like a lot of it is the fans.
Oh, true.
I feel like if you create that welcome experience and you create a good fan experience, then a lot of queer people are going to flock to it. I feel like queer people often just like search for safe spaces and spaces where there's other queer people. So I feel like it only takes like a little bit of like effort to make the sport accessible to the queer community. And then people just come to it. I think I see that a lot with Angel City. They've only been around 2 years. Their Pride games sell out. And I feel like they just, from the get-go, were very out about supporting queer people, supporting trans people. Like, they have someone whose literal job it is in their supporters club to just, like, wave the trans flag at every game.
Oh my god, okay, that rocks.
And they
that
do it
rolls.
for, like, 2 hours. I don't know how they do it, but they always
Shoulder
have...
strength, for real.
Right, they have the
that's
flags.
My favorite sport.
Yeah.
Waving
Officially.
the trans flag at the Angel FC
Oh,
City
yeah,
FC
yeah.
games.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you could if you want to be part of their supporters club and stuff. But yeah, they have queer players who are very open about it,
Very
as
cool.
opposed to a lot of the teams that definitely have them, but they just like don't talk about it as much. Yeah, I feel like it just comes down to what experience. I feel like the maybe queer athletes causes queer fans, but maybe queer fans causes queer athletes, because then the kids watching those games are more drawn to those sports and are more likely to start playing a sport that they see as more welcoming, as more accepting.
Yeah. I think that's cool. Yeah, I remember... I think it was an interview article that you did, if I remember correctly, of, like, somebody on the women's soccer team about, like, coming out, and she was saying that it wasn't so much that environment wasn't welcoming as much as they just, like, didn't consider their personal lives to be something to, like, put into the spotlight or, like, talk about when they're, like, in reference to their team, because there's, like, this whole, like, team bonding, collectivity mindset. Was that you?
Oh, that was Kirk Walker, head coach of UCLA softball.
Oh, true.
And the first out D1 coach.
Softball, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Really?
No way.
The first one ever?
I think so. Well, he's been coaching a really long time,
Okay.
too. He didn't start, he started at Oregon State.
Oh, we don't like
Sorry,
Oregon
do
State?
we not like Oregon State? I like Oregon as a state.
We're
Seems sick. I've
We're
never been
okay
there.
with
As
Oregon
states
State.
go.
We're okay with Oregon State. They're okay. We don't have a huge rivalry with them. We're also about to leave them in the dust when we go to the Big Ten.
Uh-huh.
Aha, yes. Take that, Oregon. I want to hear about that time you met Megan Rapinoe.
Oh my god. Oh, I didn't mean Megan Rapinoe. It
You said you
says
met Megan Rapinoe.
it says
Oh, you
I saw her IRL
Okay.
once. I was at a basketball game, UCLA men's basketball game for marching band. I was wearing a polo shirt and khaki pants because that's our uniform. And she was there with like her girl with wife with her wife. Yeah. Like
Might
she
have
was
been
like
girlfriend at the time.
courtside. Well, no, this was like not that long ago. This
Oh
was like
my
a couple
God.
months. This is like last year.
The recent
Yes,
Megan
I was
Rapinoe.
there.
The recent Megan Rapinoe. Oh,
We were
yeah,
at the-
like,
I was there. I've also seen her. I saw her play her last game in LA.
no way.
Against O'Rain versus Angel City. And that was really cool. She didn't play, I think, for that long, but it was still really cool.
Yeah. She's cool though. I like when she dyes her hair purple. That's what I've got.
That's
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her. And she's also like, she's like, a lot of the stuff in her biography was like, oh yeah, I've always been like loud and like refusing to, and will refuse to be silenced if it's an issue that I care about. Like no one can like get in her way if she cares about it, which is why she got like, left off the roster for like, when the Colin Kaepernick thing was happening and she like knelt during one of the games, even though like no one else did or whatever, or no one else on her team, but no, that's not right. I don't think that's correct, but
Welcome to SpeakOut, the outright misinformation podcast.
no, literally, it's just me. Like, oh, this is the cancelable offense this episode.
No, but I feel like it's really important if athletes are comfortable with it to be super out about issues they care about and about the queer community. I think athletes are paid as much as they're paid not just to do their sport, but to use their platform. I'd say 50% of being an athlete is playing your sport. The other 15% is being an influencer. I think more than anyone, just like creating videos on TikToks. Athletes are influencers because people like them for what they do. They come to watch them not just for what they're saying, but then they'll also listen to what they're saying. I feel like they just have a lot of influence, and it's good when they're willing to just use it for good.
Yeah. I think sports is potentially one of those things where people might not lean so much into the influencer thing, because like if you're an actor or like another celebrity, then like you took that job knowing that people's eyes were going to be on you. But whereas with an athlete, you're kind of just like, as again, maybe I'm spreading misinformation, but as an athlete, I feel like you're not as focused on that, or like maybe you don't recognize that as a part of the job when you're younger and getting into it. So maybe that's something about the hesitancy to like use their platform and stuff like that.
I feel like as a developing athlete, especially if you're intending on going pro, that has to be so much of your world that I think it's easy to leave behind some of the realities of what being a famous professional athlete is. Like, I think if you're like so min-maxed for doing sports good.
Say min-maxed.
Yes, I did say min-maxed, Emma.
All right.
What? Do you have a problem?
No.
Then it's hard to maybe adapt to the realities. And obviously that is an excuse, but I think it might go some way towards explaining. And also, I think, given that I feel like a lot of athletes would be conservative if they did speak out a lot. And maybe it's good that a lot of them don't.
Maybe they can not use their platform.
Maybe you can just,
Yeah, true. You want to talk about wrestling?
Yeah, okay, I can talk about
All right. If you insist.
I love professional wrestling.
You're literally like giggling and kicking your feet
Yeah,
right now.
And now I'm punching like a little gremlin because I'm embarrassed. How much do I need to explain about wrestling as sort of a background? Like, do I need to go over the whole wrestling is generally scripted and predetermined but not precisely scripted bit?
I think I guessed that much. As someone who doesn't know anything about wrestling but has seen it on the TV in the dentist's office or something like that.
I've seen the show Glow.
Okay, I have not seen the show Glow.
That's where my wrestling knowledge comes from.
They did actually have at least one real wrestler who I can come up with off the top of my head on that, the Amazing Kong, who I think might be queer.
Oh.
So good for them.
True. Do wrestlers usually have backgrounds in stuff like martial arts, like real fighting stuff?
Currently, yes, it's pretty common. The common ones are kickboxing, for some reason, gets a lot. Jiu-jitsu and most other kinds of martial arts. But it's not strictly necessary, and especially during like really the 80s and also the 90s, a lot of bodybuilders and a lot of people who were picked just for being really buff. Wrestling has grown more, I would say, demanding in terms of athleticism. So I think you get more people from quote-unquote legit sports backgrounds now. And also a lot of queer people who I'm here to talk about. Because it's so good. Obviously, I'm not that well versed on trans athletes and other sports, but there are a lot of trans women in wrestling, especially indie wrestling, which is the main thing I watch right now.
What's indie wrestling?
Just
like not WWE?
Yeah, it's a little broad and sort of ill-defined, because right now there are two major North American wrestling promotions, WWE and AEW, which is newer. I think it was founded in 2016 or 17. And definitely less big, but it also has like 3 TV shows, so it does not count as independent. And then there are like big indies, I guess, which are like Impact has a TV show, but fucking no one watches it, and I think they rebranded lately. Actually, they rebranded. They used to be called one thing, and now they're called that again.
Well, that's slay.
So slay. That's like the general wrestling landscape. And also there's a lot of Japanese wrestling. It's big in Japan.
True.
It brings me to the thing I wanted to talk about, which is Max the Impaler, who they are the first openly trans-masked person to like wrestle in Japan and also win a major title, which is like annoying that it's in a women's promotion, but also awesome because especially trans-masked wrestlers, for some reason there are just not as many of them as like trans women wrestlers, which is something I'm not...
Anyways,
also it's annoying talking about wrestling only verbally when I can't show pictures, because I feel like it is such a visual sport. There's a good... Oh my god, I can't believe I'm about to do this. There's a good Roland Barthes quote, the French semiotician, about... He's a guy who studies, like, meanings and symbols. He has a big thing about the symbols. He has a good quote about wrestling being a spectacle of excess, like an over-dramatization and an attempt to communicate pure emotion. Like, when a wrestler is getting beaten up, they're not just, like, getting beaten up. They're, like, embodying suffering.
Wow.
And I feel like there's a big visual component in that. Which makes it very camp sometimes, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Extremely
Even,
camp.
like, I feel like any wrestling, you could call it camp and that'd be about right.
Yeah. And then people, gay wrestlers have noticed that it's very camp, and then they, like, lean into it, and I'm like, you go. There's a repeated indie series of events called Effie's Big Gay Brunch, which are put on by a queer wrestler named Effie, where he, like, books a bunch of queer talent, and... oh my god, they're so good. I got to go to one. It was so good. I had to stand the whole time because I'm poor and didn't buy the tickets that let you sit down.
They have tickets that don't let you sit. What?
Well, there's like general admission versus seated. It's like a pretty big event. It was for WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, okay.
Which is, when WrestleMania is in town, a lot of wrestling fans sort of converge on there. Mm. And so a lot of other promotions will put on events on the same weekend in the same city. Cool. And it was in LA last year.
Ayo.
Ayo, yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
And you didn't notice at all.
No, I didn't, it's true. It was in LA when?
Last year.
Okay, last year. I thought,
April.
I don't know. I heard the E and I was like, last week. And I was like,
yeah,
whoa,
last week.
All right.
No. Wrong month, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And also, it was really tiring, so...
So, do trans athletes in wrestling face the same backlash that athletes of other sports seem to?
Or is it just one of those kind of things that's just, like, neutral and not super talked about? Because it doesn't need to be.
I feel like there definitely is some transphobia, but I feel like, honestly, the transphobia is sort of quieter than people complaining about other ways in which wrestling is unrealistic. Because, like...
What do you expect?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, look at them. Watch one wrestling match.
So stressed. They're like, wow, how could this short woman beat up a tall man?
Oh my god. Like, no, you're not allowed to hit the ref. You can't do that. They hit the ref like every time. Every wrestling clip I've seen, they end up clocking the ref somehow.
If I were a wrestler, I'd clock the ref. I feel like I think my superlative at the OutWrite party was like most likely to like be aggressive with a ref or something.
It's probably right, isn't it?
And also, wrestling refs are intentionally bad at their jobs.
Yeah. What? Why?
Get the crowd riled up? I believe that.
There's a lot of like, oh, I got hit like that hard, and so now I have to turn my entire body away and pretend to be in pain from the world's gentlest tap. And it like looks... Okay, when you're like doing a wrestling move, usually you like act like you're hitting really hard, and I swear to God, they put zero effort into ref bumps. They're like, oh, whack. They're like, oh! Great shit. Love that.
I love it. I think it's so fun. Like, it's just, like, silly all around.
Yeah, no, it is the silly, goofiest of sports.
Oh,
except,
yeah.
Sometimes people bleed a lot, and then I get really invested. Yeah.
Wait, so actually, like, people actually get hurt in wrestling?
Isn't it, like, staged, though? Why are they bleeding?
Well, the blood is...
Is it real blood?
It is real blood, but they did it to themselves in, like, a staged and generally safe way, and yes...
Oh!
Yeah, if you...
They do it on purpose?
Yeah, they do it on purpose.
That's
this is
wild.
such a masochistic, campy sport.
Yeah.
It's very horny. Like, just so we're aware.
That sounds...
Extremely horny.
Like, outwardly, or like...
No,
like,
by
we're not going to talk about this, but it's happening.
Yeah.
I've heard of a lot of people, like, their first, like, sexual awakening was, like, watching WWE.
No, that checks out completely.
Yeah. Oh my god,
there's there's a lot going on.
Yeah, who's that one lady with the black lipstick?
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rhea Ripley is, to my knowledge, entirely heterosexual, but apparently a bunch of people
fucking... People on TikTok think she's a lesbian?
Yeah. Well,
I think she should be. Sorry, Rhea Ripley.
But
and sorry for the cancelable
she's allowed
offense,
to have her wrestling persona look really gay, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think it's very important to allow that kind of performance, like, presentation flexibility. I think it's a good space for that. It's like drag.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna. I was gonna ask if. Okay, to be clear, I think Rhea Ripley should be gay for the lesbian's sake. I think she should be gay for our sake.
Yeah.
Like for our benefit.
Don't we deserve a gay Rhea Ripley?
Yeah. Well, we do. No, I do think it does seem like an atmosphere where you'd be able to play with a lot of things and not get criticized or like called a slur for it. Because like it's just like part of the culture.
Well, I feel like there was discourse online lately, not about Rhea Ripley, and also not that lately. I think it's like a year or two old at this point. Jesus. It was a match between Effie and this guy who's straight. His name is Jon Moxley. Where there was like a kissing spot where Jon Moxley sort of aggressively kissed Effie, and then there was a lot of discoursing online over whether that was like appropriate, like whether it was okay to bring that kind of desire in when it's like a straight man and a queer person.
Yeah.
And also, it's like in the space of performative violence.
Yeah, I was gonna say inherently violent. It gives a little. It crosses a line into like some weird consent things.
I mean, personally, I think that's kind of slay, but like I definitely understand
true.
other people's positions on it.
Right.
And it's definitely like a complex thing where I'm not like throwing you out for having different opinions on this thing that, oh my god, no one who's watching this episode is going to be familiar with at all.
Where are you from?
I mean, technically Michigan, but in reality, the Bay Area.
Also true.
Go Sharks.
Yeah, that one.
No, but it's like I feel like Sharks are a pretty queer-coded thing to have as your team mascot.
Yeah.
I feel like in terms of sports team names are slacking, in my opinion.
They really
like,
are.
Tier list, Raptors, Sharks,
Oh, that's fucking
everyone
dope.
else.
Stop. Raptors? That's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like San Diego Wave is kind of cool to have your mascot literally just be a wave.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
then you have to
And I
do,
feel like
it's mandatory to do the wave around the stadium, so like that's cool.
I feel like Thunder isn't bad. It's not great though.
It's creative.
Yeah, it's better.
It's better than like
sorry
Hawks.
Detroit, but it's better than Lions. Lions are overplayed, overused.
Yeah, same with like Hawks or Falcons. God, every high school has their mascot as a Falcon.
Yeah.
It's proven by
Actually,
science.
Hornets is pretty good.
Yeah.
I like Hornets.
It's not bad.
I like Savannah Bananas. Where the it's a literal banana. It's
No
great.
way. I love that.
I don't know if they're really fully a sports team. They're kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters. They're like a performance.
Well, if we're going crazy, I love the team name. I don't know anything about them. The Mud Hens. The Toledo Mud Hens.
What sport is that?
That's minor league baseball, I believe.
Minor league baseball has some funny names.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was, oh my god.
And they're all gay.
I feel like the one from
Are
like,
they?
No.
I wish.
I'm just saying all these names.
Okay, because I feel like there's no
Just
queer people
cause.
in baseball, at least that I hear about.
No.
And it's like, I don't
There was
know.
like one guy who came out after he retired. I was like
Yeah.
looking stuff up for my NHL article because the NHL is the only major North American professional sports league to have not had a player come out either while playing or after retiring.
Huh.
Brian
That's
McGillis.
wild. Not ever?
Never.
That's crazy.
Brock McGillis. There are too many BR names that are relevant to gay hockey.
So where are the queer slam ball players?
What is
that's
slam
the
ball?
major part in major North American professional sports league, unfortunately.
Trampoline basketball.
Whoa!
It's the best. It's so funny.
I love that.
It's great. I discovered it on like ESPN 3 in San Diego at a hotel.
Okay, I wish the
hotels.
OSHA was real. Like, you know from the movie Dodgeball, where they play the dodgeball tournament on the OSHA, like ESPN 8. I need that. I need it for I need like random ass sports.
There is
I
pro
saw-
dodgeball.
I saw professional tag one time.
That's
and,
so cool.
Like the equivalent of the Ocho was in a random hotel room. It was so good.
No, it's so
Like,
cool. They
great.
like set up a little like parkour course and then they run around it playing tag.
No,
Yeah.
when my
I've seen
family
clips.
are in hotel rooms, we just try and find like the weirdest sport possible on TV. So I've watched a lot of X Games and a lot of motocross, but like only in languages I don't speak.
Perfect.
Very fun though. I highly recommend.
I watched like the World Stair Climbing Championships.
Oh my
What?
god.
That's wild.
It was so funny, and then I think my parents changed it to like Real Housewives or
No!
something. Or like one of those shows where
Do they like run up the stairs?
no, like they're slippery stairs, so you have to like climb it in
Oh
like
my
a
God.
unitard. I feel like that's a really gay sport. Everyone just wears a
Oh.
different colored like unitard and tries to climb stairs.
That's
I don't
silly.
know.
I like
I
that.
want to watch that sport so bad.
Yeah.
Link in bio.
Link in bio.
Link in bio.
Now I'm gonna actually have to
Linkin
find
Park.
a link to the stair climbing
Yeah.
competition.
Because we need that.
We need that.
Right there.
We should just have like a really long list of links at the end of this episode.
If there's not enough queer sports, maybe we should just make our own. I mean, if
Oh.
if stair climbing is a thing, I
Oh my
feel
God.
like we could.
What are the queer sports we could make?
Just like lining up a bunch of cans and like swinging them with a baseball bat and
Okay.
seeing how far the furthest can goes.
I like
I
it.
feel like
Queer
whatever-
violence.
I feel like whatever drag queens are doing is kind of already a sport.
That's so
Yeah.
true.
How do you judge it though? Like gymnastics?
Well, they have like the dance part, like the lip sync part. I feel
Yeah.
like you could judge that sort of the same way you judge artistic sports, like gymnastics and figure skating.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I do sometimes watch figure skating in the Winter Olympics, so it's not just biathlon.
Cool. What's the deal with that? Because I know that they've got like the partner thing, and that's almost always a girl and a guy. Is there
Yeah.
anything like happening where they're like, what if we did 2 girls? Oh, you know what? Because actually I saw this, like, I think it was on Tumblr. It was like some video and it was like, oh, like me and this other girl have decided that we want to do a partner dance together. So we like trade off who's leading and who's following, or like who's like, I don't really know what the exact...
lifts.
Yeah, exactly. Like they trade off doing that. And it's like, oh, well, that's cool. Gay people in figure skating. They weren't actually, I think they were just friends, but you know, still. It's cool to see people doing stuff like that.
It is cool.
Yeah.
I actually don't know that much about figure skating.
Me neither.
I know a lot of people really like Yuzuru Hanyu, but I don't think he's gay. Maybe. I feel like men's figure skating is pretty gay.
I feel like it is a little.
That fella who was popular on the internet for a while.
That fella.
Oh my god.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, he
about
live blogged Check Please, the gay hockey webcomic. And then a bunch of people fan cast him as the main character who...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, they're like both blonde, kind of twinky.
Nice.
So like I get
Solid.
it.
Roller derby. They
Oh my
literally
god,
recruit-
roller derby is so gay.
They recruit out of Pride festivals.
Yeah.
I have
That's
yet to go to a
fantastic.
Pride event that didn't have a roller derby.
Oh my god, you're so
Booth.
right, because Daite
Yeah.
had it, huh?
Daite had it, even like San Diego, even other cities. They all have like a derby team that recruits out of there.
I love that.
And there's like there's like graphic novels and like books about gay derby players. I feel
Yeah.
like most of the gay sports media I've read, aside from Heartstopper, if you count that, is like
Sorry,
derby.
there's
Oh, that's
sports in
true, rugby.
Heartstopper?
Yeah, rugby.
Sure.
They play rugby.
They
They play
play
the whole
rugby.
thing.
Why? Wow.
Their whole thing
I
is
just knew they were like British.
Their whole thing
they're
is
British
in
and
a
they play
school.
rugby.
the whole,
Alright, boys.
the whole thing that like
Play some rugby. Sorry.
Sorry.
Like James is still with us.
Trigger
James.
warning, British. Sorry. Content warning.
No, the whole thing is that like everyone thinks Nick is straight because he's a rugby lad.
He's a rugby lad, isn't he?
I hate that so much. Not that he's a rugby lad. Emma's British
You mean
accent.
my British? What? It's so good though. I've polished
Fully
it.
support rugby. Fully
Polish
do
it.
not support whatever this over here is.
That's the only one I can do too. Anything else
I
I try?
would not qualify that as doing.
I literally just did it. So like,
Oh,
what's the...
That's
Yeah,
you.
That is me, and I'm British.
Oh no!
Yeah.
This is our cancelable moment.
We already had
found
one. I spread misinformation, and now there's bad British accents.
Did you know that biathlon started as a Norwegian military exercise, training exercise?
That makes sense.
And that's why it's like that.
Yeah, that's why it's like that. I just think it's so funny because you'd think that'd be in like a decathlon. Like, they just need to like add more things. So
No,
they're like,
no.
yeah, shoot a gun.
2 sports.
No,
and
it's
they're
those
skiing
2.
and shooting.
Yeah.
What are all the sports in decathlon? What?
Running? Do you
Thing.
wear roller skates or roller blades to play roller derby?
Skates, right?
Derby skates, which are like a
Mm.
specific type of
They're like
skate.
they're in the
Oh,
rectangle,
like
right?
before,
As opposed
and
to in
not
the
like
line.
Oh, I mean, like, those are just roller skates, but then derby skates are like shoes, usually, instead of boots. And then there's something special about them. I don't know exactly
Is
what,
this
but
like
I was...
a climbing shoes thing? Climbing, not a very gay sport.
Maybe?
Well,
boo.
but the only person I know who climbs is a lesbian. So
Climbing is the gayest sport.
Because you got the grip strength.
It uses your fingers and
Yeah,
your arms.
come on.
I feel
Get
like
with
most
it.
sports use your arms and fingers in at least some capacity.
Well, but especially rock climbing.
Yeah,
Climbing is
okay.
like-
No, I've seen someone do a campus board. I get it.
A what?
It's like the thing where you like hang by your fingers or maybe your hands. And you
Oh,
like
and then it
jump
gets
up.
smaller and smaller. Yeah, yeah.
No, you like jump
Oh, okay, never
one
mind.
the other. It's crazy.
Yeah. Rock climbing's
Link in
kind
bio.
of fun. Like,
Oh my god. I saw. This was not live, unfortunately. I saw like the World Chainsaw Championships one time.
whoa.
Which I think is not very gay, unfortunately,
Boo.
but it was so crazy that I do need to tell you all about it. They were like you had to cut the log in like very straight, and then there's some for like speed, and there's one that's like fell this tree, and it's like
Whoa!
crazy.
I like that. I feel like
Yeah.
it should be gay in the way wrestling is gay, you know?
But like, okay, wrestling is gay because it's theater and violence, 2
Yeah.
very gay things.
Yeah.
I feel like log rolling
I feel
is
like-
kind of gay.
I feel like it's like...
Clarify what you mean by that, because I only know what it means in political terms.
What
It's
is
like
log
where
rolling
people
in-
like stand
So,
on
like,
a
quid pro
log
quo.
and like you have to keep like
Like
Just like in Wii Sports!
No, it's like a log is like on a thing. I'm not explaining this well. It's like a log is on a thing where it keeps turning, and you have to like keep.
Is the objective
You
to
have to
stay
stay
on,
on the log as it's rolling and not fall off.
Mm.
And there's like, it's like a thing. I don't know.
Okay.
It's
True.
definitely a sport. I
Like a
feel
thing.
like it's
It
pretty
doesn't
clear.
sound that
No,
gay.
yeah. I feel like these are sports like that are gay because like gay bears would be good at them, you know?
That is true.
Yeah.
Strongman? God, I love strongman.
What is that?
What is that?
It's like you do feats of strength in a competitive style.
Like
I thought,
weightlifting?
yes,
something
like
different?
weightlifting, but slightly more complicated.
Oh.
Because instead of just
Okay.
lifting something, there might be like you have to pull something heavy or
Oh.
like throw something heavy.
Lots of functional muscles.
Yes. Dude, the people who do it, I am very gay, but like, it selects for hotness, I think. Like, if you want beef, my god. Like, it's incredible to see someone who is just so physically honed to be good at lifting heavy stuff.
Yeah.
It is so good to see.
That is what they do.
I'm like, fuck yeah, lift that heavy thing. You've practiced so long to do this. It's so emotionally satisfying to see you do it.
Oh, that's so funny. We found the one thing that turns JQ straight. It's lifting heavy
Yeah.
things.
Wow.
It's so good though.
Who do you think are the hottest athletes then? Strongman. And then
Oh, man.
Oh my god, there's this one Canadian guy who's actually pretty good, and then I was sad because he got knocked out of the competition pretty early because I guess he wasn't that good at lifting stuff.
Boo.
He was like a Benoit something. I was like, good job. You have my heart, if not anything to show for showing up for this.
Well. Wait, what do you think? How does sport athletes?
oh,
I don't know.
God.
For the gay ones, I do think it's basic, but I do think soccer maybe. You know. Gymnastics is good. That's just because there's a lot of people on guard who love gymnastics. They kind of lose their minds about it a little bit. It's very funny. What else? I don't know. What do you think?
I think Olympic skateboarders. I feel like they look so focused. They're kind of
yeah.
hot. They're chill. A lot of them are queer.
Love
I
it.
feel like rugby flankers specifically. They're
what
a
does
unit.
Yeah, which one's rugby flanker?
They're kind of more toward the front.
Oh, okay.
And they take a lot of the tackling.
The hits?
They take a
Okay,
lot
yeah,
of hits.
so they're big.
They're the biggest usually.
Yeah.
Forwards and flankers are typically the biggest. They're
True.
They're very hot.
Yeah. Volleyball? It's a good one. Not necessarily
Oh, there
queer.
was
but
Men's volleyball sometimes, I guess.
Haikyuu.
oh yeah, I know that one. No, it's a show. I haven't watched it, but
I tried to watch
I'm
it,
aware of it.
and then I got bored.
fair
Story of
enough.
my life.
Happens.
Hockey, I feel like they don't cater their fan experience to the queers. First of all, the commissioner's homophobic, but
Yeah.
besides
Second of all,
that,
the players are also
second of all, the
homophobic.
players are homophobic.
Yeah.
But third of all,
Not
the
you,
queers.
Travis Dermott, and also a variety of allies. You know who you are.
Yes, Luke
You
Prokop,
know who
we
you
love
are.
you.
Come out.
But
Not an ally, Luke Prokop. Well, also an ally, but queer.
yeah, very queer.
Yes.
Slay.
But also in the AHL, not the NHL. But I have hopes. Do it
Yes.
You can do it.
for us.
Be better.
Yeah, for us.
It's not even. He's fine as he
better.
is.
No, but also I feel like queer people don't like being uncomfortable, and to me, every time I've been
People
in
don't
a
like being uncomfortable.
Yeah, wait, specify what you mean?
hockey, you're just always cold. You're just like sitting there. You're sitting there.
It's not even that
It's
cold
not
in
even
there.
that
Fucking ice
cold.
rink. Yes, it is. You're
Wear
like,
a sweater.
What?
well, I don't want
That's
to wear a
so funny.
sweater. That covers up the jersey or whatever your outfit that you
Wear
picked.
Put it over
a
your sweater.
long-sleeved jersey.
Put it
I guess
over
that's
your...
why they're long sleeved.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought they were just long sleeves so they could make them cost more, like soccer goalie jerseys.
Ah.
No.
But no, it's
It's
well,
just
they're
like
long
goalie
sleeved because
gloves.
that's how the players wear them. That's
true.
just how
I
they
feel
are.
like it's just like you're cold and you're thinking about how half the league hates gay people, and just like I
Not a
don't know,
good combination.
Gary Bettman is probably there.
you're watching people like slam each other with sticks.
Okay, I'm
You're
a big
just
fan
cold.
of that, honestly.
This lady with sticks.
I like a little bit of violence in my sports, as you can
That's
tell.
no, I like football, but football it's usually the temperature is usually a little less frigid.
Yeah, but with hockey you get to sit indoors, but with football you have to sit in the sun, which sucks.
It does suck.
Not if you go to SoFi Stadium, which has a cover.
That's so
Go
true.
Rams.
It's so big. God.
It's so big.
It's wild.
It's great.
I felt like I was just gonna, like, fall. That's all.
Okay.
Like, when you get up there, it feels really steep, so it feels you're just gonna, like, whoa!
It does feel really steep, but I think I feel like steeper stadiums actually make for a better viewing
probably.
experience. Like,
Yeah.
BMO is very steep, but, like, you have a good view. The top of the stadium has a good view still. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if someone's sitting in front of you, then their head isn't blocking your view.
Yeah.
So that's fair.
I think we should do we have any final takeaways? I feel like it's mostly, if you're an athlete, maybe use your platform to not be a dick.
Yeah.
And if you're not an athlete, maybe go to a women's soccer game.
And also don't be a dick.
And also don't be a dick.
Women's
Women's
soccer
yeah.
games are cool. And I think, like, a lot of not football and not basketball sports on campus probably have, like, free tickets for students, or, like, very cheap tickets.
They do. If you scan your Bruin card, you get free Olympic sports tickets.
Whoa.
You can also, I believe, get, like, student guest tickets. But, yeah, they're all free. Pride women's volleyball is on Friday, November 3rd. Pull up, get a free Pride flag.
Okay. This episode is going to release after that, I think.
Well,
This episode releases on Saturday.
So it will be after that.
Well,
That's
still.
okay.
Still.
Go to it. We're sending you telekinetic messages
Yeah.
to go to it right now.
But
Through
yes,
the radio.
support sports that don't get a lot of traction. Go to rugby games. If you can find a stair climbing championship near you.
Then send it our way, please.
Yes.
We need to put the link in the bio. We promised so many links.
We will attend, yeah.
And with that, I have been JQ,
I have been Emma.
I have been Ava.
and you have been watching or listening to Speak Out. You can follow OutWrite on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, the platform formerly known as Twitter. You can read our articles at OutWriteNewsmag.org. That's right spelled WRITE. And thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of your day.